Welcome back to the episode, everyone. Chris Lopez here. I've got Terrance Doyle in the studio with me. We've got an exciting announcement, something that's been working on for a couple years now. But on Wednesday, I think it's Wednesday, June 17th, we'll be launching the Real Estate Ride-Along Show on the BiggerPockets YouTube channel. So, Terrance, this show idea was something you had came with about 2 years ago, well before we ever talked to BiggerPockets about it. But tell us about the concept of the show and why this popped into your mind.
Yeah, I think I need to pinch myself. I can't believe it's actually going to launch. It feels like we've been working on this for a long time. Yeah, essentially, I'd been doing all these projects for a long time, and the only chance I ever had to show anyone was if they got in the car with me and we would ride around and see, different addresses around town and see what I was doing. And every time that I would take someone, whether it be you or other investors or people from out of state or my family and friends, we always had a great response, and it led to other conversations and other doors being open. So I just thought it would be cool to kind of make it more of a formal process, do it on a consistent basis. And I think the goal for you and I was we wanted to do more together. We wanted to be able to create content, interesting content. We wanted to be able to build relationships with other people around the country and around Denver, and this was going to give us the platform to do that. And then I think thirdly, and most importantly, was just document the process of going from flipping houses to doing some projects in the opportunity zone to doing larger multifamily projects and syndications, and just being able to document that whole process. So I think we've accomplished all three, and I'm really excited to see what the response is from other folks around the country.
Yeah, so I think we recorded like 4 episodes, and then, we heard through the grapevine that BiggerPockets was looking to do more YouTube videos, and so we sent a few over to BiggerPockets,
Right.
and they love the concept, love the ideas, so we have recorded 6 episodes for BiggerPockets, and just kind of paint the picture for everyone out there listening to it. The whole idea there is have it be Denver focused, so like
Right.
we're walking properties in Lakewood, Aurora, Sloan's Lake, the Highlands, just all these neighborhoods that we know around Denver, and also bring along a guest with us. So that way, hey, we can network because we're always big believers in networking, but also, you and I both love to teach.
Right.
And so that they ask questions, we help them learn from there, we learn from them, and then we basically have a camera following around with us so that way you, the audience, can ride along with us as well. Now, initially, the first few episodes, we actually had cameras in the car and drove around.
Right.
And we realized that was a lot more work and not worth it.
Right.
So we kept the name, but now we just show up on property, and now the camera still follows us around. But we've got 6 ready to go. And the first one's launching Wednesday, like this Wednesday on June 17th. And then every Wednesday, BiggerPockets is releasing one. So, Terrance, the first one is a 6-unit apartment building that you purchased down in Sloan's Lake. Give us the quick rundown on that.
Yeah, it was off of Colfax, West Colfax. It's like maybe 5 minutes, driving from downtown. So in a really core Denver neighborhood, there's a lot of development going on. I think one of the cool things about the videography is when they do the drone and they zoom out, you just see 20 or 30 new development projects going up all around, this particular address. And it was a typical kind of deal for us where the owner had owned it for 20 plus years, had mismanaged it, but just didn't really care about it anymore, had sucked out a bunch of the juice, had made a bunch of money from it. Their basis was virtually zero. It was empty. I think there was 2 tenants that were moving out the month that we had purchased it, and we just really had deal fatigue from it. But it fit squarely in our box where it was just outdated, needed some love, needed someone to come in there, give it a refresh, and we were able to buy it at a really low basis, make some improvements, and then put some market tenants in there. And so it fit, in our business model really well, and it was in an area of town that we really believe in and are excited about long term. So that was kind of how the deal came about.
Yeah, and so this was the first one recorded. It goes live this Wednesday. So check the show notes for a link to that episode and the future episodes. We don't have the links now.
Right.
So if you can't find them, always email me. I'll get you the links. But the goal is to have them on the show notes so you guys can find them. And then the next one is a 4-plex, on the not too far from Sloan's Lake.
Yeah, on
Just
the other
west of
side
there,
of
right?
Sloan's Lake. Yeah, on the other side of West Colfax. So what's nice about the first one is, we get to see before and after pictures there. Currently, right now, that deal, we leased it all up in April. We got the rents that we had projected, and it's under contract set to close in the next 2 weeks for pretty close to the number that we put in the underwriting. So that's cool to see the before and after, track the whole deal the way through, and see us hit those milestones. And then the next deal is a fourplex that I've actually been working on for 3 years, I think now. I first walked it in 2017. It's been vacant for 10 years before we bought it, somewhere between 7 and 10 years. It had been bought and sold 3 times while it was still vacant. A couple different foreclosures, a couple different investors tried to do it or tried to execute on the business plan, could not do it. So we were able to pick it up in 2019, I think. And we're just about to finish construction. We're going to start leasing in July. It's a killer area. It's I think 3 blocks walking from the best part of Sloan's Lake, and maybe 1 or 2 blocks from like the new commissary that's right across from Sloan's Lake. So it's a really cool area, up and coming, same kind of thing, just distressed. It was vacant, and they're painting the mural on it this week, so we'll be able to get that on video and hopefully publish that with the show.
Nice. And as we go through all these, different properties now in future shows, they're all in various, stages of rehab. I mean, sometimes it's, hey, you just bought it and nothing's been done to it. Other times, hey, it's gutted. It looks like this now in that fourplex. Other times, hey, we just rehabbed this. Here's how it is. So just on when we record it, you're going to see various stages of it. And I forgot to mention in the beginning, hey, the first half of the show, we have people right along with us. We go walk the property. We talk the interior. We talk the exterior. Then we come back to the studio and actually do a pretty deep dive in the financials.
Right.
All your underwriting for buying and taking it down. Then also what it looks like for the investor on the second half of the transaction, once a turnkey rental property. So our goal with the show was to make it really unique and one of a kind, because we've all watched, HGTV. We've all watched a lot of YouTube shows. And I'm sure you guys have noticed out there, a lot of times you're like, those timelines, those numbers don't really match reality.
Right.
And so we wanted to do a deeper dive. So hopefully you guys do enjoy it. Give us feedback on there.
Yeah, one of the things I really enjoyed, and I think one of your strengths is more of the back-end underwriting. One of my things is I can kind of just look at a deal and just back of the napkin be like, okay, this, I need to look at this closer. But, what we were able to do on this show is really take a deep dive in the numbers, which I think is kind of the stuff you geek out on. And so we sit, after the show, sit in your office, go over an Excel spreadsheet, how we underwrote it for our business, and how some of your clients may underwrite it for what they look for, which is just a turnkey passive investment deal in Denver. And so I think that people are going to really enjoy that if they are looking for something different than what you see on HGTV, which is just before and after pictures and some cool tile. I mean, this really goes into the hardcore numbers and why it makes sense from an investment standpoint.
And then the third show is a house with an ADU. So we go from multifamily to house with ADU. So that's a very interesting one to walk, because the ADU at the time was being gutted and rehabbed.
Redeveloped, yeah.
Big trench for the sewer line, all
right.
that stuff. Like you were doing some major work on there. The next show, the fourth one, is a 6-unit down on Littleton.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we just walked that right after you purchased that, right?
Right, the week that we purchased it.
Yeah. So no work had been done yet, but you walked through and told us, what you were doing, discussed, the options and all the numbers on there. The fifth show is a 9-unit in Aurora.
Right.
9-unit apartment building.
Across from Fitzsimmons, I think.
Yeah,
Medical
right.
Center.
I mean, it's a great location, like 4 blocks west of it. And the last one is a 10-unit in Aurora near Colfax. So you guys can see here, these are all, different properties. They're all very local. And what we would love, actually, we love a few things. First off, you guys to watch the show, give us feedback. Please leave a comment on there and a like, because, the more likes we get, the more comments we get. Hopefully, the more shows, BiggerPockets, we can partner with and do more shows with them. But also, I mean, what we really enjoy about this, and we only able to do it for about half of them, but we're much more organized now, is actually have a guest on all these shows.
Right.
And we want guests that are, listening to the podcast, guests that we know, like guests that are clients. That way you guys just come out there and learn, because we do enjoy teaching. We enjoy networking. And it's just like, I mean, I enjoy doing it with you, Terrance, but it's way more fun having like someone else on there that we can meet them and just get their perspective.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts, is bringing someone on that may loosely know what you and I do, but they've never actually seen a project, and being able to get them on a site, different stages of development or construction, and a fresh perspective and a fresh set of eyes to be able to ask questions from their lens has been really enjoyable. I think sometimes it's questions you and I have never thought about. Sometimes it's ideas you and I have never thought about. and it just creates great conversation and interesting talking points. And I think ultimately it's going to lead to people learning a lot more than they would just from listening to a normal podcast, because you get that live interaction and, unrehearsed from someone that just is, from their own perspective, asking questions that we've probably never thought of.
Yeah. And I mean, this is all, other than for that 180, this is all going to be pretty much multifamily stuff. And I get a lot of, people emailing or talking to me because a lot of people want to do what you do, which is just going there being an operator for, repositioning multifamilies. Mm-hmm. And this, I mean, from watching the show or coming on the show is going to be a great education step on there.
Yeah.
And it's not some fancy or expensive, seminar or mentorship. It's just, hey, it's a local community thing. It's free. We want to network. We want to meet with people and produce some great content.
That's right, yeah.
Because that just leads to more network, which leads to more deals, which is more opportunities, and that's what we all want.
Yeah, and it's something we really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, Terrance, what else on the show here? I'm going through my bullet points here because I want to make sure we hit on this because, I mean, we've been on and off this for like 2 years. I'm extremely excited it's launching. Anything else that we need to mention on here?
No, I think, we're looking for new guests. And so if you've been listening to the podcast or you really enjoy BiggerPockets and you want to be able to check out one of these projects with us or be a guest on the show, we'd love to have you reach out. We're just looking for ordinary people that love real estate and want to have a conversation around, why we bought the deal, how we bought the deal, how we funded the deal, and what someone in different stages of their real estate investing career, how they can get involved. And so I think, we're looking for really interesting people to have great conversations and great dialogue.
Yeah. So if you guys want updates on that, just email me right now and we'll get you scheduled. Chris at Denver Investment Real Estate. And also just make sure you check out their shows every Wednesday through the 6 weeks from this Wednesday. We'll be releasing them via BiggerPockets.
Did they give a time on that? Did they say, what is it, 1 p.m. or something?
I don't know.
It's like the same time every week. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
I think Zach said something about the time, but
I'm good if it's a day.
Yeah,
that's
right. Yeah, Wednesday. Just tune in on Wednesdays.
Yeah, and we'll have links out there. Like I said, we don't have all the links yet, but we'll put them in the show notes. You can't find them, just email me, email Terrance, we'll get them to you. And at least for the first couple episodes with our guests, we had Athena Bronson on the first 2 shows. We're doing a Facebook and Instagram live on Monday, June 22nd.
Right.
And what we're going to do there is that way she can ask us some follow-up questions on there. We want other people who are interested in multifamily come ask questions as well. And so we're going to create some like engagement and questions after some shows have been released.
Yeah.
So depending on how that goes, we may do more of those as well.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, we had some really good guests on the first couple that I think if you're in Denver, you're definitely going to want to connect with.
Yeah. So. All right. Well, Terrance, thank you. Everyone out there, thank you for listening, and hopefully we'll see you on one of the future ride-along shows.
Hopefully this actually gets published this week.
Yes.
That would be amazing.